The sky over the alien capital was painted in silver light when the Queen cried out her question. Her voice echoed across the high marble halls. She stood tall and proud, but her golden eyes were full of fear and pain. She had hidden her tears from her court for months, but the child beside her had grown to look nothing like the alien race that ruled the city. Her hair was dark, her eyes gray like storm clouds, and the whispers in the palace had turned cruel. The Queen was known as Liara. She was not a weak ruler. She had ended wars and brought peace to 5 star systems, but tonight her strength trembled. She looked at her daughter, who clung to her robes. The girl was small with curious eyes and a gentle smile. No one in the alien court dared to speak the question aloud, yet it burned in every mind who fathered the child. The Queen had no answer, or maybe she feared to speak it. Then a deep voice broke the silence. A man stepped forward from the shadows. He wore simple earth clothes, dusty boots, and a worn jacket. His name was Adam. He looked out of place among the shining walls and alien guards. His face was tired but steady, and his eyes met the Queen's like he had waited for this moment for years. He bowed slightly and said, "Nothing." The court gasped. The guards reached for their weapons, but Liara lifted her hand. She stared at him. Her lips trembled. She had thought he was gone long ago, that he had fallen in the last war between humans and her kind. Yet here he was standing, alive and unbroken. She remembered the night on the frozen moon where he had saved her life. She had been trapped under falling ice. The human soldier had carried her to safety, while his own ship burned above them. He never asked for reward. He just smiled and said it was what humans do. His eyes told her the truth. She had known deep down but refused to face her child's father was human. The court murmured in disbelief. Some shouted that it was impossible, others demanded the human be removed. But Liara did not listen. She felt her heart beat faster. She remembered that night after the battle when the stars were bright and silence filled the air. He had held her hand and told her stories of Earth, about rain, about oceans, about songs sung by campfires. She had never heard such warmth before. Adam stepped closer. He looked at the little girl and smiled. She smiled back like she had known him all her life. The Queen's heart broke. She wanted to hide her face, but could not. She felt the truth rise like fire inside her. He spoke softly enough that only she could hear. He said, "You told me once your people believe children carry the soul of the stars." Then he looked at the girl. Maybe she carries both. Tears filled Liara's eyes. She turned to her council. They demanded punishment. They said the law forbids mixing with humans. They said it was betrayal. But she no longer cared. She took her daughter in her arms and faced them all. Her voice was calm but strong. She said, "If this child is wrong, then so am I. If he is guilty, then I share his guilt." Her words silenced the court. A single alien elder rose, his face old and cold. He spoke of tradition, of purity, of fear. He said, "The human must die to preserve their rule." But before he could finish, the girl walked up to him. She held out her hand and touched his wrist. Light glowed softly from her skin. It was not human or alien. It was something new, gentle and bright. Everyone froze. Even the elder could not move. The child smiled, and the light faded. No one spoke for a long time. Then the Queen said softly, "You see, she is not a danger. She is the bridge." Adam stood still, his eyes wet. She looked at him and whispered, "You should have told me." He nodded and said, "You would not have believed me." She gave a small, sad smile. "Maybe not, but now I do." The elder bowed at last. He said, "Perhaps the stars chose her." The guards lowered their weapons. The court bowed their heads and the night grew still. Liara stepped down from her throne and walked toward Adam. She stopped before him. Their eyes met in silence. She said, "The galaxy will not forgive this." He said, "Then let it learn." She looked at her daughter again. The little girl was watching the stars through the glass roof. Her reflection shimmered between 2 worlds. Liara whispered her name, Elena, a name that meant light between worlds, and in that quiet moment, the Queen who had feared her own truth found peace. The human who had once been her enemy became her hope, and the child, who should not have been, became the symbol of what might one day unite them all.